Wow, good morning again, and welcome to Maryland, our 2013 Innovation Summit. So we had a couple of events yesterday, and as we were thinking about this idea of the summit, kind of what we're hoping to do, what we intend to do, if you will, I started to think about the idea of summit and what it means. So when you think about summit, you might think about mountains and peaks, and about an hour and a half up the road here, right up Route 70, is a sleepy little town in West Virginia called Harper's Ferry. Historical, it's actually the site of where the Civil War began. But this town is like right at the confluence of three major rivers. It's right at the junction of Virginia, Maryland, and West Virginia. And if you go there, you can climb up through the town. It's right at the base of this Appalachian mountain. And there's a rock that juts out way, way, way up at the top. And it kind of hangs out precariously. And in fact, now it's being supported by some big beams over the years as it eroded. They were afraid it would fall. And that's called Jefferson's Rock. The story is that when Thomas Jefferson was actually starting out as a surveyor in Virginia and Maryland and West Virginia, he climbed up and found that rock. And from that rock, he could look out actually over three states. He could see miles and miles into Virginia, West Virginia, and Maryland. And so as we were thinking about this, there's a saying that says, the faster things are changing, farther ahead you have to look. And I think that really talks about what we hope that happens at this summit. This is a time for you to kind of climb up with all of our other speakers, sponsors, and thought leaders and look out so you can see some of these trends. Which gets to the next big idea, which is this notion of innovation. Now, CPAs sometimes are a little bit afraid of innovation because it's got this notion that you got to come up with the next big thing, right? Risk. We're going to create the iPad or the iPod and Steve Jobs and all the innovation things you hear about Apple. But actually the way we think about innovation is innovation can be incremental change. It can be just tweaks or pivots or shifts to change your business. And we actually think of innovation as anticipation of future change. Right? So it's about creating value in anticipation of future change. And that's really what we think is important here. So what we've assembled, and so this gets to the other idea, which is we think we're creating a platform for you all from an innovation perspective. And we're doing that with the help of our friends. And our friends are a lot of the sponsors, our thought leaders, and kind of all the people we've gathered here today. So just let me give you a couple of the previews. We have 13 of the most influential people in the accounting profession right here in Maryland speaking and sponsoring today. That's pretty cool for little old Maryland. We have some of the top people in learning and leadership assembled through our Business Learning Institute that you'll be seeing in a really innovative delivery system. We call it the MACPA Live or BLI Live. And those are kind of in a TED-style format. You'll get to see some of that from our big platinum sponsors this morning, and then you'll get to see a whole series of leadership training around that. We also have innovators in our profession in XBRL, innovators in even accounting standards, if you can believe that. Right? We're going to have Terry Poley, the CEO of the Financial Accounting Foundation. Skip Flacco and some of our own members will be unveiling the new FERF-SME framework from the AICPA. That's the Financial Reporting Framework for Small to Medium Enterprises. So what we're finding is that all these innovations, we're trying to bring here this year and every year so that you guys get a chance to see them, to look out from that peak and see what might apply to you from that standpoint. So that's what we hope for you all today, is to get up on the peak, look out, and maybe start thinking about your businesses, your practices, your organizations from that idea of innovation. Like, now that I see this, what could I do with it? How could it help me be better, improve, make changes in anticipation of the future changes, not in reaction to them? So a couple things I want to talk about as we get ready to set this up. And these are kind of the principles that we believe around this whole idea of change and innovation. And the first one, a lot of you have heard or seen from us, but it gets to L greater than C. And it goes like this. In an era of constant rapid change and increasing complexity, we believe the winners will be those that can learn faster than the rate of change. And in fact, we would say faster than the rate of competition. So we actually like to put C squared there. So that's one big idea. The next one is CC is now greater than EC. So what do we mean by that? Well, the collaboration curve is a way to jump the experience curve. So we used to learn through experience, right? The whole school of hard knocks. But we believe right now, if you can connect to the right people and collaborate with them, you can actually increase and jump that experience idea. And so we intend to do that. We're going to show you some innovative technologies from that standpoint that we're starting and trying out today, as well as some old school stuff that we do. So with that, I want to bring my tech folks up here. Where's my Flybits guys, Conferences.io, and Brian Webb from Sage. So this is part of our collaboration notion. The other thing is in our association, we've released MACPA groups, which are collaborative communities in our members-only area. And we're actually talking about potentially opening those up, having some of our partners and sponsors help us from that standpoint in those communities. So that's an idea also that we're doing. But now let's get to technology. So I get to hang out with some of the coolest people, right? Look at that. They're all like half my age, and they're doing some cool things. So I want to talk about, I'm going to skip that. I want to talk about Flybits first. I'm going to introduce our guys from Flybits. Hopefully some of you have, how many of you guys downloaded the app, by the way? All right, so a lot of you got some work to do. You're going to have to go out and see these guys. So I've got Peter, Jaspal, and Damien, who wants to come up and talk through it. Give them a nice big round of applause, will you?
Thank you very much, Tom. Hello, everybody. My name is Peter Kramrick. I'm the technical development lead at Flybits. Sorry, it's so hard to judge sometimes with the microphone. But my name is Peter Kramrick. I'm the technical lead at Flybits. We'd like to thank you, first of all, for having us. It's a great opportunity to expose our technologies and for you guys to see exactly what we do. What we focus on, we're a software development company based out of Toronto, Canada, and what we focus on is providing very relevant and specific information to people based on where they are, who they are, what they're doing, and what their history is in a location. So to give you a little bit of an example, what we've done for this event is we've mapped out the Martin's West facility with the different zones of our premium sponsors, such as Sage and Flybits and the actual conference itself. And what we do is, as soon as you walk into this location and you have our app downloaded, you'll be able to see the different zones. When you click on one of those zones to connect to it, you'll be able to get different various information that you can get on the website, based on their website, their videos, their Twitter feeds. So no longer do you have to remember, hey, what was that company's website? What was their Twitter feed or their Facebook page? I just connect to their zone and it's all located right away there. If you think of the way we do searching right now with our desktop machines, we go to Google, we search different information, and it pops up on our screens. That makes sense for desktop machines because we have a large space of screen. On our mobile devices, that's not the case. So by providing people very specific information based on not only their location but who they are, we can target which type of information we deliver to them. And it's a lot more personalized to the user. So he's not bombarded with different web pages and different websites. And so nowadays you go to a website and there's literally hundreds of links on it. How do I know what's important to me? So what we do is we try to categorize this information. And we've done so by mapping several premium sponsors, and they each have their zones. So in order to use our application, I recommend that you guys go to the different app stores, either through the App Store for Apple or the Google Play for Android. Just search Flybits. You'll see our Flybits Lite application. Download it, register using your email account, and you'll have access to all the different types of information. Do you have any questions about what exactly we do? Any assistance that you need? We have a little table on the outside, and we'd love to hear you guys.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Peter. So why you're going to want to do this, right, is that we have the zone set up for our platinum sponsors and for the conference itself. The agenda, all the background, Twitter, all that's in there for you to access. And at several times during the show, they're going to be throwing out secret codes from the sponsor community. If you get those codes, write the code on the back of your business card, run over to the booths, and drop it in their baskets. You'll be eligible for that prize. And if we're going to do it a couple times, so actually you get multiple times if you do it that way, or you can go old school and just walk over and drop your card off. But we think this is going to be a little bit more fun, and there's some pretty good prizes from a lot of our big sponsors today. So you're going to want to do that. We're also pushing out a couple other surprises as well. So you're going to want that to kind of see those things coming in as we go. So download the Flybits app, iOS or Android, and see those guys are outside in the hallway if you need some help there. So now where's John? John Pytel from Conferences.io. This is an exciting app we're starting to use in the learning environment. So John, here's your clicker too. There's two slides for you.
Oh, looks like the URL got cut off a little bit there.
Oh, it did.
My name is John Pytel, and I co-founded a company called Conferences.io. And so what Conferences.io is a fun, really easy-to-use software that allows an audience to participate and interact with a presenter. So the application is going to be used at a number of the sessions today. There's nothing that you need to download or install. All that you need to do is go to, it got cut off there, but the URL is mdsummit.cnfcatnancyfrank.io. So if you have a smartphone, iPad, tablet, laptop, go ahead and take it out right now. Go to mdsummit.cnf.io. And what you'll see on the first page is a list of the sessions using it. So that's kind of what you can see here. And all you need to do is click on the session you want to join. Once you're inside a session, it's super simple. You're able to ask questions in real time. So you click this little green ask button, submit a question. You'll be able to see everyone else's questions during that session, and you can click on that arrow next to the question if you like it, or if you want it to be addressed. And the list of questions will automatically be reordered by popularity. So that way the presenters can know really what are the most relevant questions to everyone. We'll also be doing some polling. So there will be poll questions listed under that box that says polls. And you just need to click on it. You'll see some choices, you respond, and you'll actually be able to see the results in real time right on your own device. So again, the URL is mdsummit.cnf.io. Any smartphone, tablet, laptop, anything with an internet browser, feel free to go to it and use it throughout the sessions.
And there's also some general polling there, and we're going to be using that for the closing conference to get your evals electronically and in real time. So we're excited about that. Give John a round of applause here. His other partner, Scott Cohen, there as well. And then last is the social piece, right? So we've got Brian Webb. Brian, you want to do a quick from Sage. Sage decided to go crazy social with us this year, and we're really excited by that. They brought their social team in from Vancouver. So I think we're getting like this Canadian invasion here. We have a whole bunch of cool companies and tech folks from Canada here. But Brian, you want to say a few words to everybody and tell them what's going on?
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Brian Webb, and I lead one of the leads for Sage across North America. And I'm here today to help introduce you to the world of Twitter and social media. How many people in the room here already have Twitter? Raise your hands. Awesome. So this morning I'll be teaching Twitter 201. Those are for people who are already on Twitter, but you're not really sure how to use it or how to maximize it for your business. And then there's also going to be a group of people here who have never been on Twitter, but they know for their business that they should be on Twitter and social media. How many people in the room know what Twitter is but aren't on it? Awesome. So it looks like about 50% of the room is on Twitter and about 50% are not. So this afternoon I'll be teaching Twitter 101, which is the basics of getting set up and started on Twitter and how you can maximize it for your business so that you can start taking advantage of social media, listening and finding out what people are saying about your company and your competition. So it's a great opportunity. I'll also be out in the lobby throughout the day giving tips and advice. If you have questions, please feel free to come up and talk to me. I'd be happy to answer any of your questions and or see any of the Sage staff that are in at the conference today.
Awesome. All right, give Brian a round of applause. Thank you guys very much. So they'll be out and around the whole conference. We've got our social media team, so if you have any questions, actually give them feedback too, especially Conferences.io and Flybits about how do you like their technology? Is it helpful from a learning perspective? Those kind of things. So that's what we're trying to to test out. And obviously, we're hoping the Wi-Fi works really well here also. So with that, I do want to close with one more thing before we really bring up our platinum sponsors that really make this all possible. And we were at an association conference about 2 months ago and got to see this renowned futurist physicist named Michio Kaku, Dr. Kaku. He's on Discovery and CBS. He talks about like future developments in technology out 50, 100 years, some really crazy stuff. But I got to have lunch with him and I said, you're looking at all this technology. What advice would you give me for CPAs who are dealing with all this new innovative technology? And he said two, I think, really important things that he wanted me to bring back to you. And one was, don't fight it. You can't. So he said, you're just not going to stop it. And if you try to fight it, it's futile. He said, it's kind of like a wave. And so you might as well learn how to ride the wave instead of trying to hold it back. And then the second thing he said is how you think about it. So he said, our first reaction is to be threatened by all this technology. What it's doing, it's changing things, it's not good, and all the bad things are going. He said, I think you should try to flip it and say, is there something there that I can use? Even if it's not even related to your field or discipline. And say, how might this change my practice or my company? How might this enhance what I'm doing with my customers and clients? And start to flip how you think about it and then approach it like a tool and say, how can I use the tool? And so that was his two really big pieces of advice I thought is kind of appropriate because when we think about innovation, one of the first things that comes to mind is the idea of technology, and we've got plenty of that here at the summit for you. So just those kind of final thoughts as we get ready. Now, I'm going to ask you guys to warm up our first speaker and sponsor, which is Eric Askerson. And actually, let me introduce all five of them, because then we're going to let them come up in rapid-fire succession. So first up is going to be Eric Askerson, CEO of CPA to Biz. Why don't you guys stand up, Eric? So we'll stand up one at a time. So Eric will be number one. Next is Teresa McIntosh, the head of CCH, the whole CCH North America, I guess. Software side. I got to watch that, right? I'm giving you a promotion. But Teresa McIntosh is next. Jennifer Warwa, who is the head of the Sage Accountants Network in North America as well, will be number three. Number four, Firdaus Bathina from a company called Zipter, kind of a new one coming into the accounting profession we're excited by. And then our incoming chair for this afternoon, longtime member of MACPA, Byron Patrick of Simplified Innovations. So here's what I want you to do now. I want you to show them how we can welcome them in Maryland. And I want you to applaud like when the Ravens won the Super Bowl.
All right.
All right, so ready? Let's go. Bring Eric up here and let's go. Give him, come on, let's go, right? Yeah.